Hello, welcome back to more Metallica. Why am I still talking about Metallica? Because it does well in the algorithm, apparently. Yeah, so the last video I made was a Master of Puppets video. It got 184 views. Now, that is not particularly good in terms of a revenue standard. But of course, I am still starting out with this whole metal thing. So if you guys want to see more of this metal stuff, hit that fucking subscribe button. Destroy it, even. Seek and destroy the subscribe button. Seek and destroy the like button. Seek and destroy the notification bell. I'm sorry, this was a bad intro. Metallica. You guys know Metallica. You know at this point they are very, very popular. Master of Puppets pretty much cemented that. They were touring, I think, with Ozzy Osbourne. I don't remember. But, of course, they were here. And at this point, unfortunately, we lost Cliff Burton, which was a great bass player. He played a lot of bass, and he was damn good at it. So we lost him, unfortunately, and we have Injustice for All coming out in 1988. Now, what is so good about Injustice for All? Why does everyone know about this album? Why does everyone care about this album? Well, because it's Metallica, first of all. And I would argue this is probably going to be the last great Metallica album. I think after this point, it's going to get in a really rocky direction because, well, at the time, they still were in their thrash metal roots, and I would argue they almost take a more technical point from here on out. Not really from here on out, but just in general with this album. This album is pretty technical, but at the same time, in the future, they would kind of soften their sound a little bit, so I'm kind of worried as to how I'm going to think of that. You know what I mean? Because Injustice for All is an album that really started to show that they were going in a more radio direction. Now, some people may think I'm wrong for that, but I think Injustice for All is more radio friendly by like a slight margin. Of course, Master of Puppets, everyone knows Master of Puppets, but I think it took some time for that album to kind of cement with people, I feel like. And then Master of Puppets, that has the one title track that everyone knows. And Justice for All, on the other hand, is like they played the Grammys with this one. That's pretty much where I'm going with this. And then after that, they would start doing some other random stuff, which I'm a little bit worried to get into because I don't know how I'm going to view it. But we're going to see how it goes. And also, they released the $5.98 EP, Garage Days Revisited, which I still haven't checked out, actually. I won't actually make a video on this. I might, but I might not. I don't know. But just in general, stay out of line for that. Anyways, new segment on this video in 3, 2, 1. Now, I don't think I particularly enjoy just reading off the Wikipedia page, so I'm pretty much not going to give as much background information about this. I'm pretty sure everyone already knows. Why am I hearing metal music? Am I schizophrenic? Oh my god. Okay. So, yeah, I think everyone already knows. You're going to hear my keyboard tackling away. I already read these off of Wikipedia anyway, so we're not even going to go for that. I'm going to give you the basic rundown. Elektra Records, Jason Newsted, no bass. No bass on this album. And I find it almost disrespectful, to be honest, if you think about it. Like, this is the first album where this guy is showing his bass skills. And Lars Ulrich decides it's a good idea to turn the bass down so you could really hear his awesome drumming. But in my opinion, he's not the best drummer, and he's not a bad drummer either. He's just not the best. I think he's pretty on par with, like, a good drummer. He's a good drummer, but he's not a good drummer, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not amazing. That's what I meant to say. So, alright, I'm done yapping at this point. Let's just get straight into it. So, first up, we got Blackened from this album. Now, I know I'm going to name a lot of great songs on here. Blackened is one of them. Blackened is awesome. And I remember I think I was hinting that Blackened was going to be the better intro, and it is the better intro. I haven't listened to Enter Sandman in a while, so I don't know if that's going to be a better intro than this. But Blackened is one of those songs in the album where you start to notice kind of a pattern that this album has, and that the highs are really high. Like, compare this to Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning. Like, they have highs. But I think Injustice for All has highs that aren't like any other Metallica album. This is a song that defies this album and just Metallica in general. The intro is one of the most magnificent pieces of metal I've ever heard in my life. Holy moly, these guys know how to write songs, and Hetfield still got it. And if you're thinking about the whole songwriting structure, it's pretty much like Master of Puppets in a sense, but everything is much more technical. And I almost kind of like the new sound they're going for, even though it was a little bit disrespectful of Mr. Perfect Drummer right here to turn down the bass. I think the new sound kind of works in their favor. It still sounds pretty heavy. I think the heaviness is still there. So, Blackened, overall, great song. Really like it in just everything about it. I think the solo, if I recall, was actually really good. So that's good. Kirk Hammett is also upgrading his shit, if you can't even tell. So he's rocking his ass off. Pretty cool. The title track on this album is 10 minutes long. Almost 10 minutes long. It's like off by like 15 seconds, but it doesn't even matter. It's like 10 minutes long. This is a song that really stood out to me, because the reason why that is because not only is it 10 minutes long, it doesn't even feel like that. When I was listening to this song, I was pretty much just messing around doing whatever, but they write their songs so well that it didn't even feel like 10 minutes. And it's a really well-made song. Once again, the guitar work on here is beautiful. James rocks, of course. Lars, he's like the greatest drummer of all time. That's why they turned down the bass so you could really hear him. Jason Newsted. We're just going to cut that segment there. Overall, I really like this song too. And Justice for All, if you don't know anything about Metallica and you want to get into Metallica, don't start with Injustice for All. But at the same time, get excited for Injustice for All, because songs like this exist on the album and it's awesome. You gotta love it. Eye of the Beholder. This is the third track from the album, and it was also one of the singles, if I believe. I think all of the singles are pretty damn good on this album, actually. So, Eye of Beholder, I think this is the first single that you actually hear. Now, Injustice for All was a promotional single, but I'm pretty sure that's different. So, Eye of the Beholder was actually an actual single, if you get what I'm saying. It was an actual single. So, Eye of the Beholder, this song actually took a while for me to, get used to. Again, I'm only really listening to this Metallica stuff for the algorithm. You guys already know this. But to be honest with you, I think this song is actually a song that took a while for it to grow on me, which was surprising. I really like Metallica, and I really thought I would like songs like this. But it took me a while to get used to, because it really wasn't standing out like all the other albums were. Let me just give you kind of the rundown. Kill 'Em All is pretty solid, I would say, for a Metallica album. Everything is just kind of, solid. I already talked about this album if you want to go check that out. And then Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets are like, oh my god! It's pretty much like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just energy, balls to the wall kind of thing. There's a little bit of an Accept reference if you want that. This album actually took a few listens to actually nail down what made it so good. And it's really the songwriting, to be honest. It's not the performances this time, it's really the songwriting. If you're a big fan of songwriting, you probably will like this album a lot. Because, again, if you want to hear performances, just go listen to the last two albums, because this album doesn't even have freaking bass. So I'm pretty much still pissed off at Lars for messing up the bass on this thing. God damn it, Lars. Anyways, if you have listened to this album before, you probably also think it's one of your favorites, because it's a single. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, the chorus is good. And I think, again, Kirk Hammett is a great guitarist on this thing. I remember some YouTubers said that Kirk Hammett wasn't as good on the later albums after Master of Puppets, but I have to disagree. This is, on par with Master of Puppets in terms of, the just guitar work. I love the guitar work on this thing. And if only the freaking bassist wasn't turned down, you know what I'm saying? So, again, Eye of the Beholder, great chorus is the thing I have to say. Great chorus. One. Now, if you guys remember from my last video where I talked about Master of Puppets, you guys know Disposable Heroes is what I called their best song. I was wrong about that. One is a song I have not come back to in a really freaking long time, and honestly... Wow, my family is arguing in the background. Anyways, they will not shut up. Holy shit. Wow, holy moly. Anyways, one is that one song, no pun intended, that you really don't remember how good it is, and you kind of just pass it off as like, oh yeah, it's a great song, but it's really, we already know it's a great song, so you kind of just push it off, and then all of a sudden you go back to it and you're like, holy shit, now I know why this is a good song. And remember, guys, I was saying the overall experience from the last two albums was absolutely crazy. This is an absolute crazy experience in and of itself. Again, it really shows the songwriting on here. If you want some good-ass songwriting, one is the song for you. And not only that, it has some of the best guitar work. And I said this over and over again, but trust me when I say this is like the best guitar work on the whole album, in my opinion. It just really rips. This chorus, these melodic parts, this second half of the song, which you guys already know, is like, you guys remember the whole riff that sounds like a machine gun. Like, that is a great moment on the album overall. I love this part of the song, but I also love the melodic parts too. I actually would argue that the melodic parts are more better. I don't know what to say. I don't really know what I'm saying either. I actually do really like these two parts really well. So there's that. Once again, I will say this. That one easily is the best Metallica song they have ever written. Up until this point, again, we will get to other Metallica albums where I have no idea what I'm expecting. I may think that something off of Saint Anger is the best song they've ever done, and I have no idea if that'll come. But I'll tell you guys this. One is the best song on this album. The Shortest Straw is the fifth song on here, and the first thing I noticed, it was about a minute in, this song almost sounds like, and I don't really want people to really bash me for this, it almost sounds like groove metal, like it sounds like Pantera. I think people are going to bash me for that, but Shortest Straw, like, there's one riff in here that really sounds like groove metal. Like, it sounds like Dimebag wrote this stuff, and to be honest with you, he might even have written it, because The Shortest Straw has that one part where it's like, dun, 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 dun. It almost reminds me of A New Level in a way. I think that's where it came from. I think it was a song off of Vulgar Display of Power, and it was a song called A New Level, and it almost reminds me of that riff. In a way, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, this song really reminds me of that, so that's why I really like it. It's actually one of my favorite songs off the album, so there's that. Overall, really great stuff, if I have to say so myself. Once again, Kirk, great guitarist. Next song on the album is Harvester of Sorrow. Now, I think a lot of people really like this song. I can tell because of the streams. A lot of people stream this song. And matter of fact, it might actually be in the, it's like the third most streamed song on this album. No, it's not. It's like, it's the third one. Never mind. It's the third one. Yeah. So, it honestly is kind of impressive, because I still don't really see why this song is so popular. It might be something technical. I have no idea, but to be honest, it was one of my least favorite songs, and I don't really know why. It just doesn't really pack as much of a punch as something like Black Ender 1, or Eye of the Beholder, even that, or the Shortest Straw. Shortest Straw is like one of those songs where it's like, it's really good, but it's not like amazingly good, it's like, it's not like a masterpiece or anything. It's just kick-ass. That's the kind of the same thing with this song, but it's like, it's great, it's good. Matter of fact, it might even be my least favorite song on the album, which actually kind of says something. I always try not to be different from people. I always try to understand people's perspectives and all this stuff. I don't try to be different just to be different, but Harvester of Sorrow might be my least favorite just because it just didn't click with me. Like, every time I've listened to it, it just doesn't click with me as much as the other songs. I don't know why. It's weird. Almost. It's kind of like a lot of things on the Black Album. Half of it just doesn't click with me, and half of it is freaking goated. We'll get to that album in a little bit. Next up is the Frayed Ends of Frickin' Sanity. Once again, you hear me kind of scrolling through this album because, why not? Frayed Ends of Sanity is great. I love Hetfield's performance on here. This is the first time I'm ever going to do this. I'm not actually going to glaze Kirk this time. I'm not going to glaze him this time. Who I am going to glaze, though, is Mr. Hetfield. Mr. Hetfield does great on vocals here. He has a great voice for this song. I absolutely love Frayed Ends of Sanity, even though I don't have much to say about it on the guitar parts, really. I think the guitar really reflects on his voice really well. And honestly, that's really the only thing I have to say about it. Everything else is really good, but I do feel like the song can drag at least a little bit. And that's really the only complaint I have. It just kind of drags. Because sometimes, Metallica songs are freaking long, so it's like, it's just happens. A lot of bands really, they just drag on sometimes. It just happens. To Live Is To Die. Obviously, we know this is a song about Cliff Burton, almost. It's not really about Cliff Burton, but it is written as a tribute to Cliff Burton. Actually, it is about him, because there's literally one poem of his at one of the ends of the song. This is a great instrumental. It actually might be their best instrumental, in my humble opinion, because To Live Is To Die, like, once again, I would say that this album, when it hits hard, and then everything else is just kind of whatever. But hold on, my bad. So anyways, To Live Is To Die, another great song by this great band. I would say that this is my favorite instrumental by them. I know Orion's up there. Orion is definitely up there, but To Live Is To Die has a great riff, by the way. It's kind of heavy at points, and it has a great melodic part. And that's probably my favorite part of the song, honestly. And then right after that, it just cuts back to the main heavy part of the song, and then you get to, of course, the poem. And overall, it's just a great moment on the album, and I really like it. It's like Orion in a way. Not really. Anyways, Dyer's Eve. This is actually a song I really overlooked when I listened to this album. It's like, think of Damage Inc. almost in a way, because Damage Inc. is one of those really fast songs, and I really like it. Dyer's Eve is great. I love Hetfield's performance on here. One of Hetfield's best performances even. I love this performance. You could argue other performances on this album, but this is really great stuff, in my opinion. One of the most underrated Metallica songs, I think. Because it's just fast, it's aggressive in a way. It's also very melodic. I love melody in songs. If you're able to put melody in a song, then that's great. Metallica knows how to write melody, and we'll see a lot more melody on the next album. Speaking of the next album, nah, I'm just kidding. We're not going to speak about the album yet, but just overall, this song is underrated. If you've listened to this album and you haven't really given it the chance, go listen to it. Be honest with yourself. It's great. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this is a great album, in my opinion. My favorite song, obviously, is One. One, great song. My favorite song on the album. My least favorite, obviously, is Harvester of Sorrow, and that's really just because it just took a while for it to click with me, and it still really is just a decent song compared to the other stuff. It's just decent. And again, I know this was Injustice for All. You're either getting absolutely top-notch amazing performances, or you're just getting kind of just solid Metallica. They really were kicking it back with this one, but at the same time, they knew they had to do this for their friend Cliff Burton, so they really kicked ass on some songs. So they really know when to get you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video where we talk about the Black Album by, once again, your favorite band of all time, Metallica. And by the way, I want to put a note here. I will try my best and do other bands in the future, because obviously Metallica, I can really only go so far with Metallica. I'm not as passionate about them as other bands, so I might just start uploading on Tuesdays, because Tuesdays are great, because it's like a balance between my breaks and stuff. I don't know what I'm saying, but anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace